a 21-year-old college student crashed her car on a dark New Hampshire road. Minutes later, she disappeared. No body, no footprints, no confirmed sighting. More than 20 years later, nobody knows what happened to Maura Murray. Before she vanished, she packed her dorm room as if she never intended to return. She emailed professors claiming there had been a death in her family. There hadn't. She withdrew cash, bought alcohol, and drove toward a destination nobody has ever identified. Then, on a cold February night in 2004, everything changed. What investigators discovered inside her abandoned car would only deepen the mystery. This is the disappearance of Maura Murray. Maura Murray wasn't the type of person anyone expected to vanish. She was 21 years old and studying nursing at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Friends described her as intelligent, athletic, and determined. But beneath the surface, cracks had begun to appear. Just months earlier, she had faced disciplinary trouble after being caught using a stolen credit card. Her relationship with her boyfriend, Bill Rausch, had become complicated. And on February 5th, 2004, something happened that visibly shook her. While working her campus job, she received a phone call. Moments later, a coworker found her staring blankly ahead, unable to speak, repeatedly saying only two words, "My sister." What was said during that call remains unclear, but many believe it marked the beginning of the final chapter of Maura Murray's known life. And 4 days later, she was gone. February 9th, 2004. Looking back, investigators noticed a series of strange decisions. Maura packed many of her belongings, removed decorations from her room, boxed up personal items. It looked less like a short trip, and more like someone preparing to leave. She emailed professors claiming there had been a death in the family and that she needed a week away. The death never happened. She withdrew cash from an ATM, purchased alcohol, loaded her Saturn sedan, and then she left Amherst. For hours she drove north through the winter landscape of New England, toward somewhere, or someone. Nobody knows. But what happened next would become one of the most debated moments in modern true crime. At 7:27 p.m., Maura's vehicle crashed on Route 112 near Woodsville, New Hampshire. The road was dark. Snow covered the ground. The nearest lights were far apart. A local school bus driver named Butch Atwood stopped to help. He saw a young woman beside the vehicle, shaken but apparently uninjured. He offered assistance. He offered to call police. She refused. According to Atwood, she claimed she had already called AAA. There was one problem. There was virtually no cell service in the area. She couldn't have made that call. Why would she say that? Atwood returned home and called 911. A passing motorist did the same. 19 minutes later, police arrived. What they found would become one of the strangest mysteries in American history. Maura Murray was gone. Her car remained at the scene. Her belongings were still inside. Her textbooks, personal items, alcohol, everything, but not Maura. A search dog was brought in. The dog followed her scent down the road, about 100 yards. Then it stopped, abruptly, as if the trail simply ended, as if she entered a vehicle or vanished into thin air. That detail continues to fuel debate more than 2 decades later, and it would only become stranger. Authorities launched one of the largest missing person searches in New Hampshire history. Police, volunteers, tracking dogs, search teams, helicopters, they searched woods, fields, trails, and waterways. Nothing. No clothing, no backpack, no remains, no trace. As days turned into weeks, investigators searched her dorm room. Inside, they found packed boxes and removed decorations. The room looked abandoned. What was Maura planning? Was she escaping something or someone? Her father, Fred Murray, refused to give up. For years, he returned to New Hampshire searching for answers. Weekend after weekend, year after year, still searching, still hoping, still waiting. More than 20 years later, nobody agrees on what happened. Theory 1. She became disoriented after the crash and died in the wilderness. Simple, possible. Yet despite extensive searches, no evidence has ever been found. Theory 2. She intentionally disappeared. The packed room, the cash withdrawal, the false family emergency. Some believe she wanted a new life, but maintaining a complete disappearance for over 2 decades would be extraordinarily difficult. Theory 3. She accepted a ride from the wrong person. The scent trail ending on the roadway supports this possibility. If true, the person responsible has never been identified. Theory 4. A witness reported seeing a police SUV near the scene before official arrival times. If accurate, it raises questions that remain unresolved today. Theory 5. Could Maura's disappearance be connected to another missing person case? Some investigators have compared her case to the disappearance of Brianna Maitland just weeks later. Authorities officially reject the connection. Others remain unconvinced, and perhaps that's why this case continues to fascinate people around the world, because every answer seems to create another question. A young woman crashes her car, refuses help, disappears within minutes, and leaves behind one of America's most enduring mysteries. More than 20 years have passed, yet the question remains exactly the same. Where is Maura Murray? What do you think happened? Did she run away? Did she enter the woods? Or did she accept a ride from the wrong person? Let me know your theory in the comments. And if you enjoy unsolved mysteries and forgotten cold cases, subscribe to Dark Cold Cases. Because somewhere out there, the truth still exists.